Okay, hi everyone. This is a video review for a great, amazing person called John Corcoran of smartbusinessrevolution.com. He's kind enough to have his website reviewed and critiqued by me. So welcome, John. How's it going?
Good. Thanks for having me, Rich. I'm excited about this. A little nervous, but excited.
Good, yeah. No, that's nothing wrong with being a bit nervous. So, John is an amazing networking expert, as you can probably see if you go to his website. And he's actually worked for Bill Clinton previously. And he's even met Obama, as you can see in one of his photos. That must have been very interesting. So, John, do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us a little about yourself, what you're trying to achieve with your website, and why you're looking for help.
Sure, yeah. So I've had a little bit of a roundabout career. I started off my career, basically, I was fortunate enough to get kind of my dream job at age 23. I was a writer in the Clinton White House, which is how you see the picture of me there with President Clinton in the Oval Office. And I did that. I worked in politics for a number of years. I also helped out in the first Obama campaign. That's how I got a picture with President Obama there. That's me with Elon Musk, who's the founder of PayPal and Tesla Motors over there as well. And so, relationships have always come natural to me, but it wasn't something that I appreciated until recently. A couple of friends said that I should start showing others how to use relationships in business, which is what I do now through my site, through Smart Business Revolution. And I'm also an attorney. I started my own small boutique law firm a couple of years ago, and I've been fortunate that through nurturing relationships with people, I've been doing very well in supporting my family. So through Smart Business Revolution, I show people how to use relationships, how to develop relationships with people and use them to support your business and grow your revenue and attract more clients and customers.
Very good. Yeah, that seems like a really good, unique kind of prospect to people. I would imagine a lot of people don't really understand the power of networking. There's obviously some books out there that people might have read, but probably hard to put it into practice.
Right. Yeah, so that's what we talk about, and so my site, it has evolved over the years, and it had a different domain. I rebranded it about 2 years ago, and it's been in its current incarnation for about a year or so, and it took a while just to get everything in place and get me comfortable with the things that, everything, from the formatting and posts to doing pages, and
okay.
I'm not the best at optimizing. So I'm looking forward to your critiques.
Okay, great. Excellent. So so you're kind of a one-man kind of shop when you're running the site, and do you run everything in design, or what do you do there?
As far as design of the site?
And yeah, just the general style and obviously you write the content for it, but do you have any help from anyone else?
I do have some help, yeah. I have a VA who helps me both my podcast and with, normal stuff around the site. WordPress tweaks here and there, things that I can't figure out for myself. I'm pretty good at figuring out most things, but not everything. And then I've also worked with I worked with an SEO firm for a while that probably didn't do very much. And I worked with a web coach for a while who was very helpful in kind of changing the direction of the site.
Okay. All right. Well, excellent. So let's start with just a few more questions before we get going with the review. So your main website goal, I'm guessing it's to get someone to sign up for your ebook here. I'm guessing because this is your homepage and it's the first thing I see. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. My goal at this point, well, first is to be helpful for people and help them use relationships in a way that supports their business. But secondly, sure, to get them to sign up for my email list.
Okay. So what is the main thing that you would want someone to do on your website?
Well, depending on how they came in, a lot of traffic comes from guest posts. I've been doing a lot of guest posts on Art of Manliness, Dumb Little Man, Boost blog traffic.
Very good.
I write for Huffington Post. I've written for Forbes. So those have been good sources. And people who come through those sources, usually I set up individual landing pages for each individual guest post that I do. And those have anywhere between a 15% to 50% conversion rate usually in people signing up to get that free ebook and join my email list.
Okay, good. Well, we can take a look at those in a little bit after I've covered your site that you can actually click around on. Okay, and then if there's any particular pages you want me to review other than those ones, and it would be good to kind of know what your top entry pages are, but we'll get into that. So, because we want to make sure that those pages are converting. It's that, like the 80-20 rule, where if you spend 80% of your 20% of your pages are going to yield 80% of the success of your conversion rate optimization efforts. So, which will be your entry pages.
Okay. Yeah, well, some of my entry pages, like right now, in terms of organic Google traffic, I've got some old blog posts that aren't even on topics that are on topic with what I talk about now. Like they're on old legal topics, and they get thousands of hits a month. I haven't done much with them because it's a totally different topic, and so I think that, the people that come through there are probably not going to be interested in my ebook.
Okay, sure, fair enough. Okay, well, we'll just cover the pages that you think you want me to have a look at that have highest impact.
Okay.
All right, great. So excited to get started. So let's get going. So I'm going to review your website through the eyes of a conversion rate expert. That's myself. But I'm also going to look at it through the eyes of a first-time visitor, because it's obviously very important that you meet their needs and try to understand what questions they might be thinking about your website, what things they might look at first, what they might notice. It's important that you kind of understand this and try and meet their needs, because otherwise, they're going to be going back to Google and find another website that meets their needs slightly better. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right, so I'm on your homepage, and I am using Firefox. If anything looks a bit strange in terms of formatting, that might be the case, and that's something I recommend you do anyways, to check your website in different browsers just to see if different fonts are lining up weird, because even the slight things can make a difference and make them look a bit strange. So anyway, we're looking at this on Firefox, just so you know. Okay, so when I get to your homepage, I'm just going to give you my first impression of it. And I've got your homepage, and I see this huge area here, and this covers most of the page fold. And page fold, for those that don't know, and you might not know yourself, is the area that's visible without scrolling. So you can see you've got this huge area here. Turn your relationships into revenue. You don't immediately know that this is a blog, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but because your opt-in form is so big, it pushes everything else really far down, which is a good thing, because it means you have a little more attention grabbing, but you could do probably quite a few things better with it to kind of tighten up some of the space and push up some of your other content. So in terms of the actual this kind of opt-in area here, this huge opt-in area, I think it's got some potential, and I think if you added some things to this opt-in area, I think you could really skyrocket your opt-ins from this area even further. I'm just going to talk about some of the things that a visitor would probably notice immediately. Obviously, they're going to notice that there's Obama here and there's Bill Clinton there, which is good. It's going to help you build some kind of value proposition and some expertise. Like, oh, okay, this guy must be an expert if he's met these powerful figures, which is a good thing. So they're going to notice that. And they're going to kind of notice this book, but to be honest, it's kind of small. And it's kind of hard to read the writing on it, how to increase your income in 14 days by building relationships with VIPs, even if you hate networking. Okay, so it's a bit of a struggle to read it because it's kind of small writing. So I think this Turn Your Relationships into Revenue is a nice title, but it doesn't really draw your eye to this. So I think one of the things you need to do is make the book cover slightly bigger if this is what they're going to be getting free instant access to. And then next to here, you've got join my email list, and I'll send you a free ebook, How to Increase Your Income in 14 Days by Building Relationships with VIPs in Networking. Okay, so I think this is good. I think you need to kind of change around the wording so it flows a little bit better. one thing you definitely need to do is take out a lot of this space you have here. You see there's all this white space, I'm saying white space in terms of blank content area.
Are you talking to the left of the sign-up box?
So...
in the sign-up box.
I guess you can't see my mouse movements. So just above your forms right here, this area here.
Yeah.
This area there. Then you've even got some area that you could tighten up here and here. So you could move this over slightly to the left, push up the book and make it bigger, and maybe even make these photos a bit smaller, because they're good, but they're almost a bit too overwhelming. Well, not overwhelming, but they're going to really attract you. There's eyes more than probably what you want them to look at, just as much as your book.
Okay.
So I would tighten up this area, and I would consider. Have you done any kind of value proposition testing with this headline? Because this is going to have a real huge impact on your conversion box.
Actually, I have. I've tested almost everything in here. Okay. In fact, I have a guest post that's going to be up on the Sparkline sometime soon. Probably by the time we post this, people are watching this video, it'll already be up. That's about a 6-month process that I went through, testing both this box and also my opt-in box, which is in the right column a little bit further down when we scroll down. And I basically split test different language, and that ebook used to be called How to Create Your Personal Networking Plan. That was the title. And then I tested different titles over the course of 6 months, and I found every different phrase, I found that this was the one that converted the best. And even the photos, I tested the photos. I had different versions of the photos. I had bullet points underneath here, right above where you put your email address. So I've tested all those different incarnations. Okay,
well, that's good. How did you do the testing, by the way?
It was basically just putting up one version and then monitoring it over time and then starting a new one over again. Or I split test the form in the bottom right-hand corner. Or not the bottom. If you scroll down a little bit, in the right column is a little opt-in form.
Okay.
Yeah, if you scroll down a little bit further to the right of all of it. So that appears on all of the post pages. So that, yeah, that's the one that I tested. I tested that language.
Okay, cool. All right, that's good. That's great that you've already done that. It's way more than a lot of people have done with their website, so that's great that you've done that. So I won't focus too much on that, but some of the other things that I just noticed as I'm scrolling is that I was just mentioning the page scroll there. You don't even see these really powerful things you have here until you scroll further. And these are really powerful kind of brands, and a lot of these people have heard of, particularly things like the Huffington Post and Forbes. And then people that are into this online area will have known Pat Flynn's logo there and the Get Rich Slowly. So this is some really good social proof that I think you need to get a headline to say as featured in, and not just have these here, because you have to really remember that people are very stupid often when it comes to looking at websites. They're like, oh, okay, what are these logos? Have you worked with these people before? Or you just have to make it as obvious as possible. Keep it simple, stupid. You got to kiss your visitors. So I would actually have a little small headline here to say I've been featured in these following media and websites. Make it sound a bit more exciting. And then this is a really good little very short testimony. I like it. It's very short. So you need to probably, I would say, increase the size of that slightly. And then if you have any other small snippets like that from any other expert resources like that, that's really going to help increase social proof. Everybody wants to know that people like you, because that will increase the chances of them thinking, oh, okay, well, this guy must know what he's talking about, because everyone else, lots of these other expert people are also saying that he's good. So if you have another one, you could perhaps put it to the side of that and make them both a bit bolder. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah, it's funny you mentioned that one, because I'm testing that one right now. that little A-list blogging quote, and I found that just when I checked a couple of days ago, it was outperforming the other quote that I was testing it against 8-1. So it was doing a lot better than some of the other quotes I had.
Well, that's good. That's good. And then some of the other things I think you should just briefly hear is just to say that you won't spam people. And so this is a basic thing, but I've seen that have a relatively good impact just by mentioning if you do it in a kind of cool way, like, you know, I hate spam as much as you do. It's an interesting way, rather than just saying privacy policy or, you know, want to make it a bit more fun and make it seem like you have some good personality behind this, and that will make it a bit more fun. I like the fact you have an arrow here, which is kind of good. And then other things, I would probably change the font of this so that it's not gray on gray. I would make this white, and probably split this up. Because this is the name of the book. You want to say like a colon here, and then have this be in different font size. And this is still kind of a little bit small, so you could play around with that. Okay.
Okay. Increase the size of the font for the book title. You're saying? Yeah, exactly.
In particular, because if that's what you've tested and you know it works, I think that's going to be very powerful there. But try and change it to white instead of gray, because it just doesn't really stand out particularly well with that color.
Okay.
Okay, so generally, I think you could cut this in half and have it still be really powerful, and convert even more, but take up less space, which will get more people realizing that you have all this great blog content below.
Okay.
What's this currently converting at the moment? This box, or sorry, your homepage? Do you know?
I think it was 4.8%.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not too bad for a homepage. I think with some of those tweaks, you might be able to improve that.
Okay.
One other simple thing you could do is testing even the color of this. There's been lots of studies out there that said red can sometimes mean warning and danger. So you might want to test even changing the color of that to, if you do have enough traffic to do a multivariate test rather than testing each individual thing, because the problem is if you keep testing too many things differently, you won't really know what the right combination is.
Yeah, so, I've tried not to do that.
Yeah. So, that's one other little small thing is about the button. So let's continue on down the home page. I see immediately notice, this is a blog, and a visitor would immediately realize this is themselves because of particularly the fact that you've got the right-hand sidebar here with your blog content here. I immediately am drawn to this because this is a very big area. It's nicely done. And this is what a visitor would probably be looking at on your website. They would look over here and notice this book again, but they would still probably think, it's still kind of a bit hard to read. So again, make that slightly bigger. Don't worry the fact that the shadow has to show. I would make this bigger.
Okay.
And I would probably even consider changing the background of this kind of orangey color to make the text stand out a bit better. It just makes it a bit hard to read.
That's another one I tested. The cover used to be blue, and yellow did better.
I see.
Yeah, so I changed it, but maybe I could have my designer do just the text much larger.
Exactly. What are your
thoughts on that? Would that be better if I'm thinking of putting like an image, like a picture of someone. Would that be better, do you think, on the cover of an ebook rather than just words?
Yeah, these are fairly generic kind of stock, people. So I think if you had a couple of people shaking hands, I know that's kind of stock as well, but I think that might be a better thing to put on the book.
Okay.
But we'll come back to that. I'm just going to continue going down the rest of your page. So I see lots of kind of boxes, lots of squares, quite a few different colors. I go down here and I'm probably thinking, looks like I'm reading a post because it's kind of long, which is good because I know that you have very good content, and I definitely suggest my readers to subscribe to your blog. But immediately you're met by this really long content. On blogs, one basic thing you should be doing is using the read more kind of cutoff thing in your blog articles. So on your homepage, it means you can do little snippets. So you can have 4 or 5 of your latest blog articles, and then you read more next to each of them. So that kind of frees up a lot of space, because if someone isn't interested in this one, they don't really care about video books. I'm sure they probably will in this case, but if you have, let's go down to see your next one. Like this one, if they don't know who Amy Porterfield is, or they don't want to hear a podcast, they might not want to, they might miss out the fact that you have all these other ones. You kind of do it a little bit here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I would do is either make that be the first thing they see and have one slightly bigger snippet for the first one. You know what I'm saying? You're making them scroll a lot to see what it is that you can offer them, what your value proposition is, why they should be spending time on your site. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm just going to scroll down, resources. Then you've got those, which is fine. And you've got, here's your footer. Okay, now you've got this Business Profit Academy. If I was a visitor, I'd be like, okay,
and I'm probably going to be dropping that soon.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem to be. When I think of these types of things, I often think of salesy kind of multi-level marketing kind of almost scam types of things, particularly when you see this kind of wording. So if you're not really doing that well with it, or there's not real big focus point in the future, I would get rid of that, because it's probably just going to be confusing of visitors.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you've got this Get My ebook, How to Build a Network Filled with VIPs in 14 Days. Okay, so which is fine, and you've got a good About Me there. What I would suggest now is, after looking at this page, it seems like you could use a fresh coat of paint, so to say. And get some more consistent kind of branding and themes and colors. For example, here you've got this kind of orangey here, which is the first time you've used that, apart from, that was another thing I tested, actually. It performed better.
It was blue. That orangey was blue.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Interesting. I mean, that's the trouble with testing is, sometimes things can convert good, but you're at the same time, you need to make sure your website has an overall style and it looks good, because you might test that and pink might win, and you obviously don't want to have a pink box, for example. So, and not only that, but I noticed that there's lots of different fonts. Here you've got this. This looks to me like an Aweber form that you've just posted. Use their basic font. And it doesn't really do much justice here, I think, because it's very long, get your free ebook, the 52 plus page. I think if you came up with a different header for this and made it much shorter and kind of more exciting, I like you've got 52 pages good. Other things you can do with this are mention how many people have already downloaded it, and if a lot of people already have, that will increase the chances of someone doing that. Does that make sense? If you can say, downloaded over 1,000 times, that will make you think, okay, this is very popular. Maybe it's good. Maybe I'll put my email in there.
Okay.
That will definitely help. Then you've got another color here, free instant access. So this is a new color that's appeared somewhere, and then you've got some red kind of pinky text on there. You've got some real basic. This font over here is good. I like this font. This is what I also use on my site. But I think you need to make this a bit more consistent. And these are just simple things that will, you might not think make a difference, but they do generally make a difference in terms of like, oh, okay, this is good style. I want to come back to this site. I mean, when you look at, I'm going to just show you Pat Flynn's website here, Smart Business Marketing. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. That's the Bizzle site. Where is it? Where's it gone? Just close it. Let me just go there right now. Smart Passive Income. And he's recently done an amazing job with his redesign. And you can see kind of instantly like, okay, this is a really well styled blog that he's probably spent quite a bit of money on. But it all just looks really amazing, and there's nothing to stop you from having a website that looks like this. I mean, you could probably get this done for, I don't know what your budget is, but you could probably get it, if you used examples like this and showed designers, you could probably get a really good looking website for a good 10K. I can certainly send you some other examples of, color schemes and layouts. And this also works well because it's dynamic, so that when you're on different browser sizes, it changes. So you can see here, you see here, it changes to a very narrow style. So those are the types of things that you can also achieve with it. And so I definitely recommend that. And then you can, what the things that you've learned from your tests and some of these things I'm recommending, you can then introduce into that redesign. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that will, I think, will have a huge impact on your conversion rates. It will, I mean, if you get this nicely styled and it's matching, you have a nice. I mean, the other problem is your sidebar here is it loses everything, so it's kind of floating into your whole area here. It feels a bit, it's such a light gray, almost feels like it's white, and this is kind of like bleeding into this. Does that make sense?
And so having a separate something a little bit more that stands out in terms of that sign-up box.
Exactly. This stuff is really good. Again, you're mentioning it. One quick thing is I would never underline something on a website that you can't click on. I see it often, surprisingly. It just makes sure people think, oh, okay, why can't I click on that?
Yeah.
Because these are links over here. So, and as seen and sounds a bit corny, you could just say I've been featured in these prestigious, places, kind of thing.
Okay.
You've got recent posts. I'm not sure whether you want to have recent posts or most popular posts. I would think that you probably want to have most popular posts because that's the stuff that people are finding really popular. And when someone clicks on it, they will see. Let's try and click on one now. Actually, they will see probably a lot more comments. They'll see a lot more likes and Google Plus shares, which will make people think, oh, okay, this is really good. Other people are really reacting to this. Like this one has 11 comments, and this one's new, so I'm guessing your older content has even more comments, which is really good for building social proof.
Yeah, and what I haven't been good at is always emailing out when I have a new post. If I do, because my email list now is 2,000, which is decent. So if I send out an email about a new post, then I get a lot more comments on it, obviously, because people come back and check it out.
Yeah, exactly. That's very smart. You should always do that immediately after that. So one thing I did notice, you don't really have any social sharing. There's an immediate simple thing that I would add right here. There's lots of different plugins you can do. There's Dig, and then there's the one by Element. It's the Flare sidebar opt-in thing. Not opt-in for the social shares, and you can stylize it, and it will actually float with your content as it comes down, so people can see. Like I imagine here, this would have probably had a lot of Facebook shares and a lot of tweets, and again, that will help build social proof.
Well, the part of the reason I removed it at one point because I couldn't format it correctly, and it was floating over the text, and people were getting annoyed, so I just removed it. But also, I didn't want it to show 0 or like 5 shares or something. So maybe I can find one that doesn't show the number.
Yeah, I haven't found one yet. I've heard that there's one coming out soon. I actually heard that on the Fizzle forums, which doesn't actually show the numbers until they are over a certain 10, which
that's good.
I think would be amazing. But I mean, other ways you can do it are as soon as content comes out, really make sure people are seeding it. So get your friends and family to at least get 5 or so on each, because that will it's nothing worse than seeing those social sharing numbers and seeing them all say 0001200 or whatever.
Yeah,
so
right.
I think definitely put them back. and try and make sure as soon as your content comes out that you've got some numbers on there. That will help that. And you'll quickly see that those numbers jump up, and it will have such a great effect that other people will share it, and you'll get even more traffic back.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just going to continue down here. This area at the end of your blog post is really, really, really critical, because it's the area where your visitors are going to end up after looking at your blog posts. And as you said, you get a lot of traffic coming to your blog posts. It's good that you've got a question here, but this area here it's good that you have something, but it's a bit kind of fluffy and nice, and I think you need to not really have that be, A, first of all, so big, and B, give them some value, give them an incentive to sign up, and that's where this comes in, which again seems strange to me because you've got another different style here, different color. So this is like, oh, actually, this is pink, what I was mentioning. Oh, and this is blue all of a sudden. So this might be, okay, is this the same as this one that I just saw up here? Or is that the same one I saw on the homepage? And it immediately makes them like wonder what it is. And they might be like, okay, I don't. This wording here is good, no spam.
Would you recommend dropping that yellow box entirely and just having a box for downloading the ebook?
Yeah, I would. You could just, I'm going to go back to Pat's one here quickly. I'm going to click on his latest one here. You can see what he does, and I think this works very well. And by the way, this is what I was talking about. Having the social shares, he's got the total rather than having individual numbers. But if you look at the bottom of the page, and you look at, and you can see how clean his sidebar is here. He's got popular posts. That's what I was saying. And then this is fantastic on the right-hand side here. This is his most popular content that he wants people to click on, and that's what you need to figure out. What is the most important content you want people to click on and have? And this is great. You can do this. You probably need some help to do it, but make it stick like he has. So how far you scroll down, there'll always be something else for someone to click on if they want to. So let's just get to the end of this page here, and you'll see what I mean. Here it is. So you've got the shares again, and then you've got something like this, like what you've read. Here, this is really good value proposition. See, 75,000 people receive an exclusive weekly online business and get a free copy of my book. Get started. And this is very unusual. He has this pop-up, and apparently he's tested that, and that works very well. But this is what you should be doing really with the footer of your blog posts, because that's what really going to convert much better. And then other things you can do, there's obviously a lot of kind of, a lot of people don't like them just because they were really annoying, 5-10 years ago, is pop-ups. And now they're kind of coming back with a big bang here, and all kinds of websites are using them, media websites, even experts are using them. So what you can do is when someone is about to leave, go back to your page here, sorry.
I do have one installed right now that is enabled.
Okay.
But I'm kind of ambivalent about it. I haven't really checked the stats recently to see if it converts that well. Okay.
I'm using OptinMonster at the moment, and I've seen some pretty amazing results with that. So I would consider that. Pop-up elimination is another one. And the reason why I'm mentioning those two is because you can do exit intent. That's where, okay, the visitor's done reading, he goes to move up here to the URL bar to go somewhere else, and the pop-up appears. And as long as it's a good offer and they're going to be interested in it, not just saying, don't go, I want you to sign up for this or that, just use wording that will really resonate with them, ask them a question, and have the form on there that they can instantly sign up. I think you could do some great results in terms of your conversions.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to go back up to the top here. Next thing I want to mention is your navigation up here is, the text is very, very small to me, and it doesn't really stand out very well. But more importantly, I think you need to have it redesigned so the wording of it is a bit more interesting and a bit more understandable. You've got this about, which is, everyone has an about page. I think a much better thing to have there is a start here kind of new button. And again, I'm going to use this analogy again because it does such a great job. Is I'm going back here to Pat's site, and you see here, start here, passive income 101. So if people are new to your site and they don't know what to click on, they're going to click here. And immediately he has a whole page devoted to building a value proposition, who he is, what he can do for you. He's even got some videos in there. And you've got opt-in boxes on here as well. Not very prominent. I would make those more prominent if I were him. You've got like even a signature at the bottom, which makes it very kind of authentic. So I think that definitely your site could use something like that and have that clearly labeled up here. And instead of saying resources, you could say, as other words like most popular content, or if you want a word that uses one or two. But there's definitely better ways to say that. How to network is not, I'm not clear what I'm going to get. I'm going to click on that. I don't know what this business evaluation is. So I'd really try and focus this on the key things that you want someone to do on your website in terms of your major goals. And don't really try and confuse them with like, okay, well, what's that? What's this? Is this different to this? Then, you're going to make them work. You're going to make them click through all these things, which they probably won't if they're not so inclined to. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
So, for example, I'm just going to click on this How to Network and see what this page is. Do you know which of these gets the most traffic?
How to Network, and I'm not sure between About and How to Network, but How to Network gets a lot.
Okay, that's good.
And I set that up a while ago working with a web coach. And it's kind of a main resource page. It's, when I shifted to writing more and more about using relationships to grow your business, that's when I created this page.
Okay.
And it's just a collection of the kind of my best posts.
Okay, good. Yeah, I can see that. What I would do to even probably trim it up slightly is to take off kind of some of the text. It's a bit kind of text heavy still. It almost reads, you're making someone read the whole thing rather than telling them that these are the major things that I think you should do. I mean, do you know what your current bounce rate is for this, or exit rate? Do you know if people are disappearing off this page, or do you know what they're doing?
No, I don't. I haven't looked at that.
Yeah, that's something I would do in Google Analytics. It's also be good to see what people are most engaging with, and using that as do some research into figuring out what it is that they like the most. So you can then do more regarding that. Okay. But that's good that you have this sign up here. This looks like this is done by Opt-in Skin. Mm-hmm. But again, it's slightly different. Again, like this, you've got this here and this here and this here. And if they go down here, these are all competing with each other. So again, this is another reason why you should take this off here. And I don't really think you need this here in the bottom again, because you've had it so often on the right-hand sidebar. And on this page, this is what you want them to do, I'm guessing, if they don't click on anything else. So I would just get rid of this. This is kind of a bit hard to read. On my screen it is anyway. And this, the instant access is a bit hard to read because it's white on blue. And then this looks different than the headlines you've used earlier. So I'm not sure whether that's something you hadn't changed or. But again, I would test that if you're getting a lot of traffic to that.
Okay.
So, sorry, I'm just going to click one more page, and then you can feel free to ask me any questions, because obviously I've been doing a lot of the talking here.
That's okay. I'm taking a lot of notes here. I appreciate it, Rick.
That's great. And obviously this is recorded, so you can get to watch it anytime you want. So this to me, working with me video, this is more something, this is excellent, by the way. I love this. This is something that I would put on a new here, get started kind of page. Business evaluation. Again, I'm not sure what this business evaluation is. It's
something I'm probably going to drop, actually. It was something I was testing out, and I'm probably going to drop it.
Okay. Yeah, I think that the more focus you can have on just one real good offering on your site, the better it will be for you to streamline conversions to get them to that point. And if you're using your mailing list to try and drive traffic back to the site, if you're constantly trying to sell many different things, it's going to be harder for them to understand. Okay, what's this guy doing? What does he really do? One other thing quickly is I noticed you don't have an internal search box. You need to have that at least in the sidebar at the top or even in the top right of every page. Because the problem is if people don't know, they don't, none of these resonate here and they just want to search for one thing that they think you might have, but they're not sure, they're not going to be able to find it unless it happens to be one of your recent posts. You know, your ones and there's no categories or any other way of navigating your site. So I would always have a internal search box. Some people say you shouldn't have it because I think Derek Halpern came out and said that you shouldn't have this. I think personally it's very important to help those types of visitors who don't know, who can't find what they're looking for. It's one last ditch attempt at trying to find what they're looking for before leaving. But also it's going to give you some amazing insights if you do some analysis on the keywords that people are searching for. So you'll quickly see what it is that people are most searching for, and which is even more powerful now because, in Google Analytics, it's very hard to find the keywords. And doing good analysis in Google Analytics, you can obviously do it using Google Webmaster Tools, but using that kind of insight and intelligence is really very powerful. So definitely put in the internal search box in the top right. It's sort of relatively easy, and you'll learn a lot from that you can use to improve conversions and write even better content.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
So I know you said your wife is expecting your baby. Congratulations! Any moment now. So I know you don't have too much longer, but any other questions that you want to ask?
Yeah, well, this has been extremely helpful, Rich. I appreciate it. I've taken volumes of notes here. It's really good. Do you think that I should keep both an about page and have a start here page?
That's a tough one. I've seen people do both. Personally, I think that you could probably try and achieve all it is by just having a new page, but to be on the safe side, I would do both and see what gets the most clicks. And then if your about page isn't getting much clicks, you could possibly take it off. But no, I wouldn't say one over the other. I would probably keep both, but I would move your new here first instead of about. About should be probably the last thing. And contact, you could have it there. You might want to consider putting in the footer or something instead.
Okay. All right. And then it sounds like on the very bottom of the page, the footer that I have on the main index page and some of the static pages, which has my little bio, product. I'm going to drop the product, and it sounds like dropping the opt-in box, which I think converts very, very low anyway. So just drop that whole bar there.
I think you could still have a footer there. You put your social media icons in there. You could put the content that you want people to see. So you can put on your major site categories there. That'll help people navigate around your site. So I wouldn't get rid of it. You can do some good things with your footer here. One thing you might want to consider is just finding another WordPress theme that allows you to make all these customizations yourself. There's so many great ones out there now. And then, hire a really good web designer to help give it a good fresh lick of paint and use some of these principles that I've mentioned. And you can be able to do a really good footer option in there too, which would really help improve navigation and usability. So that's what I would explore that in at the same time as trying to make some of these changes, because it will just make it, on the homepage you'll be able to do other things. Like, for example, another thing I didn't mention that's on your homepage is having an A-Lit build value proposition, and this is what Pat also does. If you go back to his homepage here, because people need to know what's in it for them and who you are and what's the value proposition. Why should they read your site rather than going to another site? So you see he's got this area here, tells people who exactly he is and why they will like this, so you know exactly how to build your business better. I'm sure he's tested this many, many times to come up with this sentence, but this is a great area to build a value proposition. Other ways of doing it are showing little short points, 3 or 4 points of reasons why people love you. That's a really good thing to add to that on the homepage. And as where I was going to is that if you have another template, you can have ones that make it really easily customizable to add in different modules. You could even maybe possibly do an image slider. Many people are saying you shouldn't do it, but as long as you've got really powerful content in there that engages your visitors, then there's no reason why that might not work for you.
Okay. Yeah, it does. It does. Well, great, Rich. I really appreciate you doing this. It gave me a huge list of things I need to work on.
I really glad that helped you, and look forward to helping you more. And let me know whatever help you need, and maybe we can do another one in it's a couple of months and see how you're doing in the future.
That sounds good.
All right.
Thanks, Rich.
Give my regards to your wife, and hopefully the baby comes soon.
Hopefully so. And any minute now. Fortunately, we didn't get a call in the middle of this, so I'm glad that didn't happen.
All right. Well, thanks very much, John, and have a great rest of the weekend.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks. Bye.